All right, so let's see if the audio is okay. Yeah, perfect. How's it going, everyone? I hope you all are doing great. I'm Dork Radu and I'm back with another daily analysis. As always, I'm gonna start off with the Forex analysis, and to be more exact, I'm gonna start off with Euro USD, that as we can see is running in some very nice profits literally as we speak. Okay, it faced some drawdown 2 days ago. It was, or 1 day ago, it was around here, and we were expecting it to maybe hit the stop loss, but as we can see, it reversed straight into profit, smashed TP1 and TP2 on entry number 2 and entry 1 on entry number 1, and still running in some nice profits. So on this pair, all we got to do now is wait and see how this setup will unfold. The reason I took it is because I saw a aggressive break towards the downside, a fair value gap that was lining up perfectly with the point of interest. The 4 hour was bearish on the graph as well. And lastly, the pullback was also a pretty corrective one. So yeah, definitely a beautiful setup. On EuroCAD, we have a bearish opportunity, a bearish potential setup. We have a aggressive break towards the downside, a unmitigated order block lining up with the point of interest, as well as with this bearish trader order block. The 4 hour is bearish on the trader graph, and it is very safe to say that the pullback has been extremely corrective so far. Okay, it looks like it might want to head lower, and if that happens, then this setup will become invalid. But for now, it is still a valid setup. On USD CHF, we have a textbook bullish break of structure right here, caused by this bullish leg. We have this fair value gap lining up perfectly with the point of interest, as well as with this bullish trader order block. The 4 hour is bullish on the trader graph, and now all we gotta do is wait and see if we manage to get a corrective pullback. On USD CAD, we have a bearish opportunity, a aggressive break towards the downside. After that, I was able to identify this unmitigated order block that is lining up perfectly with the point of interest. The 4 hour is bearish on the trader graph, and so far the pullback looks very nice and corrective, and we want to see a continuation of that, of course. On GBP CAD, we have another bearish opportunity. Okay, we have a liquidity sweep right here, followed by this huge bearish leg that broke structure aggressively to the downside and took price lower. The 4 hour is bearish on the trader graph as well. We have this unmitigated order block lining up with the area of interest, as well as with this bearish trader order block. And once again, this pullback looks very, very nice. Okay, looks very corrective, exactly what we want. And lastly, for our Forex analysis, we have Euro CHF with a bullish opportunity. We broke structure right here. Pretty textbook break of structure to the upside. We have this unmitigated order block lining up perfectly with the area of interest. And the pullback, as we can see, has been very, very nice and corrective so far. All right, so now we just want to see the price pulling back towards our entry, and then this will definitely be on. All right, and yeah, that was pretty much it for today's Forex analysis. As always, if there's any other questions, make sure to reach out on Discord. Now I will go over today's metals analysis, starting off with gold, where we have a bearish potential setup. We have a liquidity sweep here because of this huge fake out to the upside, followed by this impulsive break towards the downside, caused by this bearish leg. We have this unmitigated order block lining up with the area of interest. The 4 hour is bearish on the trader graph, and the pullback has definitely been a very corrective one so far. And to be honest, it looks like price might want to head lower. But for now, this setup is still valid. And on silver, we have another bearish opportunity. We have a textbook break of structure to the downside caused by this bearish leg. We have this unmitigated order block lining up perfectly with the premium area of this bearish range, as well as with this bearish trader order block. The 4 hour is bearish on the trader graph, and now the last thing that we all need to wait for is to see whether we manage to get a corrective pullback. And yeah, on that note, we'll end today's metals analysis right here. And as always, if there's any further questions, make sure to reach out on Discord. And now I will go over today's indices analysis, starting off with US 30. That has a pretty similar setup to gold now that I'm looking at it. It has a liquidity sweep here caused by this big fake out, followed by an aggressive break towards the downside. After that, I was able to identify this unmitigated order block that, as we can see, is lining up perfectly with the point of interest. And now the last thing that we need to wait for is to see if we manage to get a corrective pullback. On SPX, we have another bearish opportunity. We have a bearish shift in momentum here. Liquidity sweep followed by an aggressive break towards the downside. We have an unmitigated order block lining up with the area of interest. And the pullback has been very, very corrective so far, which is exactly what we want. And lastly, for our indices analysis, we have NAS 100 with another bearish setup looking pretty similar to SPX, right? We have a bearish shift in momentum, a liquidity sweep, followed by an aggressive break towards the downside caused by this bearish leg. We have this unmitigated order block lining up with the premium area of this bearish range. And the pullback so far seems to be pretty corrective as well. This doesn't look aggressive to me, right? And yeah, on that note, we'll end today's indices analysis right here. As always, if there's any other questions, make sure to reach out on Discord. And lastly, I will go over today's crypto analysis, starting off with Bitcoin, where we have a very textbook bearish opportunity. We have this aggressive break towards the downside, a fair value gap lining up with the premium area of this bearish range. Above it, we have a bearish trader order block as well. The 4-hour is bearish on the graph too. And this pullback right here definitely looks corrective to me. Okay, so we have plenty confluences on this setup. On Ethereum, we have a super similar setup to Bitcoin. Once again, aggressive break, fair value gap lining up perfectly with the point of interest. 4-hour bearish on the graph. Above the fair value gap, we have a bearish trader order block as well. And lastly, the pullback looks also nice and corrective. On Dogecoin, we have another bearish setup. Right here, once again, textbook break towards the downside, very aggressive as well. We have this unmitigated order block lining up perfectly with the point of interest. The daily is bearish on the graph as well. Above the order block, we have a bearish trader order block as well. And once again, pullback also looking corrective. So a lot of bearish crypto setups. On XRP, another one, right? Aggressive break, fair value gap lining up perfectly with the point of interest. Daily and 4-hour both bearish on the graph. We have a bearish trader order block as well right here. And once again, pullback looks super nice and corrective as well. So yeah, I'm really curious to see if these crypto setups will trigger and play out. And lastly, on Solana, I wasn't able to identify a new setup yet, right? Hence why I'll just leave the price as is and come back to it later and see if anything has changed, all right? And yeah, on that note, we'll end today's crypto as well as the overall daily analysis right here. As always, I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you all on the dork side. Take care.